Hi everybody and welcome back, it's Kelly. Today I'm going to talk to you guys about passing the TEAS test, getting ready for the TEAS test, being prepared, and then how you're going to get the best score so you can get into nursing school. So the TEAS test is a basic test you have to take for many schools in California. I'm not sure if you have to take the test in other states to get into nursing school, but it's very possible. So when I took the TEAS test, I was able to take it twice for my school. The first time I took it, I studied for about a week before, and I didn't do too hot, not bad, about the 80% mark, so that was pretty good. My school's minimum was like, you have to get a 72 to even apply to the school, so 80 was pretty good. And then the second time I took it, I hardcore studied for a month, looked at what I needed to improve on via the last test I took. Like, I did really poorly on the English and grammar because I really suck at English and grammar. So that was something I really needed to improve on, so I really studied for that, and I gained 8%. So I ended up with an 88% on my TEAS test, which is pretty good. It's like within the 98 percentile national rating, like only 2% or it was like only like 4% of people get like 88 and above. So first I'm going to talk to you guys about the materials I used, study tips, what it's going to be like on the day of the exam, and how you can do your best. So the first thing I did is I used 3 resources on ATI.com, which is the website that puts out the test. You log on there and you set up an account, and then you sign up for the TEAS test. You get a pencil and paper ID, which you need to bring that day, which I'll talk about later. And then there's a list of resources that you can buy. One of them is a yellow book with a girl on the front, and it is the study book for the TEAS exam. I don't have it with me because I gave it to a friend who's now studying for the TEAS, but I will hopefully post a picture right here or right here. There's a English reading comprehension section, a mathematics section, a science section, and an English and grammar section. So in the yellow TEAS book, you go through each of the sections, and it's basically like a textbook. It's a study guide for the exam, and it tells you, this is how you find the square root of a number, or this is how you would want to look through this specific piece of writing to find the information that you need for the answers. Or for science, it would explain like, this kind of medicine does this, and igneous rock is from a volcano, is what I talked about before. And then reading comprehension to be like, where do you put a period? Where do you put a comma mark? Is this the correct spelling of this word? What word would you replace with this word to make the sentence grammatically correct? And stuff like that. So it has information on each of those sections, so you can then go and practice them in the study questions / study tests they have at the end of the book. I believe there are 3 at the end of the book. I don't really recall, but I believe they have 3 study practice exams at the end of the book, which are very similar to the ones you are going to take on your testing day. The second resource I would suggest is, I know it's really pricey, but actually purchasing those practice exams online. I believe they're like $40 a piece or something ridiculous like that. They may have gone up, but those are the exact same thing you're going to be taking. Not the exact same questions and whatnot, but they are basically the same material. There was even some questions that were exactly the same on the actual TEAS test, so I would highly recommend doing that. The only downside to that is that, or 2, it costs a ton of money to take them, and secondly, you don't really get a feel for your time limit, because after you answer each question, it then gives you the rationale in the answers and which one you got right and which one you got wrong, which is kind of nice for like instant recall, like, oh, I got this wrong, I got this right, good job me. But at the same time, it's kind of like, I want to get that mindset going of, okay, it took me this long to do this, I need to get my time down because the TEAS test is timed. So having to stop and look at each answer definitely doesn't give you that time frame which you took. But you can go through each of those 4 sections on the practice TEAS test online, and I believe you can do each one twice. And then you also get like the breakdown information, like you need to do better in punctuation and you need to know more about square roots and whatnot. So that's really awesome. I believe there's a version A and B and like C and D, and you can purchase each of those for $40 a piece, and then take them twice. So I think you have like 4. And the last book I used, I looked up online and I read some reviews and I found that it was really awesome. I will also go ahead and put a picture here or here. It was so good. This book had 5 exams in it, 5 full exams, and I took all of them so many times. I took all of my practice tests so many times the second time around. It's full of study questions, and then for each question there's a rationale. So after you take your section of the test, you can go through and you can read, did I get this question right? Did I get this question wrong? And why? And I would suggest that even if you did get the question right, you go through and you read why you got it right, because you might have been guessing, and then also you can read why the other answers are wrong. Like it'll tell you like, it'll be like, no, that's actually not how you find the square root of this. You actually have to do this. You are actually finding the decimal point, or you are making a fraction here and you did that incorrectly. So I thought that is a really awesome feature that the books have. And they also have a glossary in the back that you can read through. If I had thought of it, I might have made flashcards from the glossary words, but I don't know if that's necessarily your kind of style or if that would necessarily help you. But if I had thought of it and if I had time, I would have definitely made some flashcards from the glossaries in the back of the book. So next I want to talk to you about TEAS Day. Some things you can help prepare you for the test is study for that month in advance. You know, get the test going, take a test, take another test the day before, take a test the week before, take 2 tests. If you get the yellow ATI book, it actually has like a little breakdown schedule for you, which I found was helpful. My testing center that I went to specifically was about 45 minutes away, which is kind of far. We have a really windy mountain road in between my parents' house and the testing center, so I was kind of worried about being late. I was worried about there being an accident. Okay, so my camera just ran out of room, so I switched it, so I might be slightly askew, but I was saying, like, there might be an accident on the road, or I might not be able to find the location of where I'm going. So my mom and I actually used Hotwire to rent a hotel nearby in the area, which was really awesome. We got to stay at like a 4.5-star hotel for like $100, which was kind of nice the night before the test. And we went out to dinner and we kind of had some fun. And then in the morning I woke up super early and my test was at 8, and I was probably up by like 5:30 or something getting ready. My mom and I went to the coffee shop. We went and got bagels, and I was really nervous. I was like so nerve-wracked that morning that I didn't eat a lot, but I did drink my coffee, which is something I do every day. So it's important. If you do something every day, like drink coffee or eat a bagel for breakfast, do it that morning. Don't decide to skip your morning coffee, because it'll make you somewhere else. You don't even know. So stick to your ritual, stick to your routine. Try your best to get a good night's sleep. I know that can be really hard. I was scared. I got a horrible night's sleep the night before my first TEAS test. I don't really remember what I did, or we stayed the second night of my TEAS test, my second TEAS test, but I got a horrible night's sleep. But it's best just to go in with a smile on your face and be prepared and just be ready to take the test. Things you're gonna need on that testing day is your ID. You need a photo ID. They will not let you in or do it without it, and that your whole, I don't know, $70 that you paid to take the test and driving to the facility and spending time there all went to waste. So you have to have your photo ID. And then your ATI number, which is something you're gonna print out from ATI.com. And just have that with you, and your ID. Mine was a paper test, so I went to a specific room. There were hundreds of students there to take it. I went into one of the rooms in the building, and we sat at desks all like crammed together. I didn't have the best experience, but it went well. You know, we all had to sit like back to back to back to back, and the desks were tiny. They were like this big, and I was like, I have an answer sheet and a paper and a pencil and an eraser and a water bottle. Like, what do you expect me to do? But you make it work. They're very specific about the time limits. once you get started, you have to have your cell phone off. If it goes off, you're just done. You're done. So at that point, I had a phone where I could remove the battery, so I actually removed the battery, and then they had you place your phone on top of your bag. And then you could have like a pencil, extra pencils, sharpeners, erasers, like water bottle, whatever, on the floor underneath your seat. No cheating allowed whatsoever. So did that, they got started, they say, okay, blah, 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 like, let's read all the rules, and then they say, start your test. So you do your reading and comprehension, and you can go through and you can spend that whole allotted amount of time doing the reading and comprehension section, which is where you're reading a passage and then answering questions about it, reading a passage, answering questions, and you are required to stay in the room the whole entire time the test is going on. You can go to the bathroom, I believe, if you like give them your ID, and it's one person at a time. But you're required to stay in your seat, being quiet, while everybody else take the test until time is up. And then once time is up, everybody has to shut their pencils, put their pencils down at once and shut their books, and then you get, I don't know, I think we got a break. And then next we did the science section, same thing. Everybody opened their test at the same time, did it, and then everybody closed their book. We broke for another longer break, came back into mathematics, same thing, and then finally grammar and English, like punctuation and whatnot and spelling. So we did that, and I was there at the facility, or facility sounds weird, I was there at the school in a classroom for like 5 hours, and it was ridiculous, and I was hungry and I was tired and I didn't want to be there anymore, but that's how it was. So it was a very long day. You know, you can't take the test on your own time. You have to go to the facility or the school to take it, and then you have to wait for each section to be done. Don't forget to check your answers. Just make sure that everything you circled and think was right was bubbled correctly on your Scantron. But people say don't change your answers. I say change your answer if you think what you put was wrong and you know what's right is right. So go ahead and do that. Just try and have a good attitude. The people in there, you know, you're all there for the same reason. Your proctors might be stricter than others. My proctor was a complete a-hole. He was like, shut your book, shut your book. And I was just like, dude, calm down. I'm shutting my book. Like, everybody's shutting their books and their pencils are down. Just calm down. But I finished all 4 sections in the allotted times and was able to review all of my questions each time and whatnot. So I hope you guys all have a good day, and I'll be back in another week or so or whatever with another nursing video for you guys. Let me know what you want to see in the comments below, and give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. Thanks everybody, and have a great week.